Good morning. Good morning, world. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are you today? My name is Marcus Conti, and I am reporting on world affairs today. The world as we know it, the world as we remember it. Is the world the same as we remember, or is the world always changing, day to day, week to week, month to month? I don't know. That's why we're here. That's why I'm here. I'm here trying to figure it all out, man. I'm trying to figure it all out. How we doing here with this? Let's see. We are live. We are live. Is that a blip? Is that a blip? Connecting software. Binga banga boonga bong. All right, man. How you doing? So, I don't know. It's unusual. Nobody's viewing. We got people here. Is nobody viewing? Nobody's here, they say. Nobody's here, says the algorithm. So we'll just agree with them for the moment. So my name is Marcus Conti. Look at this picture. Look at this picture I found. It's connected to a bunch of videos too of NASA and in conjunction with SpaceX, the infamous privately held company by Elon Musk, I believe. Shooting a rocket. They're shooting a rocket. They went back to the Space Center up there in orbit. All right, Space Center. We have it, and it's not that far away. It doesn't take too long to get there. It's a couple of 100 miles away. It's not like the moon. It's not like they're going to travel a million miles, but it's up there, and they are exposed to radiation. And I want to take a look at those videos. That video of the blast off and amazing moves forward in terms of space travel. Right now, does that mean? I mean, why are we trying to corner space? Why here? Why now? Right? You remember in the '60s when Cuba was stockpiled with nuclear weapons by Russia. Russia was packing in their nuclear weapons to defend their communist brothers in Cuba, 90 miles off the coast of America, pointing all of their arsenal at America. You remember when that happened in the 60s? And what did America do? They shot a rocket to the moon. Right? They put men on the moon, allegedly 6 times. So it seems like we're going back in that direction, right? Use space as a way to scare the other side into oblivion. Now, the irony of the story, I guess it's irony. Nothing is ironic today. Everything is history and facts and you can't believe anything anymore. You can't believe what people say anymore. Because everybody seems to have some sort of ulterior motive, whether it's press, whether it's politics, whether it's the person next door. Everybody seems to have this incredible agenda, a kind of an out for themselves, if you will, mentality. I don't know if that's fair to say, but I don't even know what I'm talking about right now. I'm totally fucking lost, man. So good morning, man. I was trying to be over intellectual. And sometimes that happens when you think too hard, and you catch yourself trying to explain and to think. You're not in the zone, man. You're somewhere else. Right? So I'm gonna wait and come back. And thank you everybody for joining me. It's Thursday. The date is October 6th in the year 2022. We are here. We are discussing war. Basically, World War III is on the lips of everybody, everywhere. They want you to be fucking afraid, man. Be afraid. Fucking join us, or you don't want to die, do you? See, that's the hysteria right now. There's nuclear explosion fever has replaced COVID fever and mask fever. Everybody was wearing their masks to keep themselves safe and protected from others. Now they're not doing that anymore, but the threat is bigger. Radiation poison, right? Passing out potassium iodine pills, right? To protect you from radiation, right? That's the new hysteria. You see how fear gets harvested? It gets the topic gets switched. Not the topic, but the subject. The subject of the fear just switched from COVID to World War III. But the implication of where here's the dilemma. Right now, Kim Jong-un is firing test missiles into Japanese airspace to test its long-range capability. Shooting rockets in their own property, shooting it up, right? No, is that and the world is outraged. How dare Kim Jong-un shoot a rocket? But here we are in Florida blasting a fucking giant, one of the biggest rockets for the purpose that we have, blasting off from space. You see the irony, right? We could do it, but they can't do it. We could advance. The other irony is that on this SpaceX excursion is one Japanese guy and one Russian. There's a Russian cosmonaut on the fucking spacecraft hanging out with the Americans. I thought we were at war with Russia. And now we're all kumbaya with Russia. Oh, you're from Russia. I pass the vodka. Right? They're up in space laughing at the fucking world as it explodes. Sipping Russian vodka. Right? On the space, we're at war with Russia. The United States is, World War III. Over Ukraine and properties that Russia used to have. Russia took it, and America's pissed off, so they blew up their fucking pipeline, and they're accusing Putin of fucking savage war against his own people. Right. Colossal Bigfoot says iodine. Laughable. No, that's really. I mean, I agree that it's laughable, but they're actually passing out potassium iodine pills somewhere. I think in Ukraine. I heard. They'll do it here. They'll do it here. Once there's a little radiation, they'll start Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson. They'll start pumping out the potassium pills that you need to stay safe. So we're going to explore this and other fine ideas. Another story I find fascinating as well is that the United States long blamed Russia for the Cuban Missile Crisis, stockpiling nuclear weapons in Cuba off the coast of America. But at this moment in time, Poland, a neighbor of Russia right in the Baltic Sea, is saying, yeah, America, they share a border with Russia. Yeah, it's no problem. You want to house or sponsor nuclear weapons in Poland? America's like, yeah, we'll set you up with that. We will set you up with that to protect yourself from the dirty Russians. So America at this moment is in the process of, and this is not speculation, they're already in front of the cameras shaking hands. Right? We don't know who blew up the pipeline per se, but we could speculate that it looked like the Americans did it. Right? At this point, right? But what we do, and that Putin was behind the whole thing, which is, there's no evidence to suggest that, but there is evidence to suggest that the United States at this moment in the World War is stockpiling nuclear weapons in Poland pointed at Russia, almost identical to what Russia did to us during the Cuban Missile Crisis. And we complained, oh my God, we're going to blow fucking Cuba up. Kennedy and the rest of them were really perplexed by that, right? With John McNamara, they didn't know what was going on. And at that time, the Americans' solution to almost everything was to blow it up. Look what they did to Japan. They blew fucking Nagasaki and Hiroshima to pieces. They burned it, right? And so Russia puts nuclear weapons on the coast, off their coast in Cuba, and America's sitting around contemplating blowing it up, right? So I ask you, sane, thinking, early morning people in the chat, what do you think Russia is going to think when the United States starts stockpiling nuclear weapons in their backyard in Poland? Well, they're probably going to think the same thing. We got to strike. We can't have this. It's too close. Okay. You see, who's arguably in the in the 60s, Russia may have instigated that to some degree by making the move to stockpile nuclear weapons in Cuba. But at this moment, we are clearly the aggressor. Whether Russia invades Ukraine or not is not the point. America is moving nuclear weapons, is escalating the problem by possibly dropping those weapons in Poland, and all along fucking having a rocket show so everybody could see, right? Why do you think Kim Jong-un, quote, tested a rocket, right? That's not a fucking test. That's a firing of a missile. And he's doing this, right? That's the strong man. That's Kim Jong-un is the strong man, right? Oh, look how strong we are. We shoot the rocket. Right? They're trying to say, the Americans are trying to say that Putin is about to do the same thing on the Ukraine border by testing a nuclear warhead on the nuclear, fucking peninsula or whatever. Right? Strong man. But again, there's no evidence that Putin is actually doing that. That appears to be, at this point, speculation. So, in the fog of war, as you see, we get dragged down the rabbit hole of who done it, right? Who done it? Who started it? Right? And you realize that it doesn't matter who started it. It's now escalating to you do this, and our reaction is that, and then and the other side reacts to the reaction, and it's a chain reaction, right? And we're deep in it now, where we're lining the Americans have decided to negotiate with the good Polish people to house our nuclear weapons pointed at Russia for your safety, right? That's happening right now. Now, are we allowed to talk about it? Well, at this point, I think we are. I think the establishment wants people to be discussing the possibility of nuclear war with Russia. That's what they want. Why? Fear. It scares people. We're all going to die. We have to do this. We have to stop Russia. We're going to die. What good is anything if we're all blown up in an explosion? And they bow. They bow to the power. Bow to the administration that is creating the problem itself. Is literally escalating the problem. They're bowing to the aggressor, which is their own country at this point. So thank you very much for joining me. Weevil Girls here. Thank you, Vinny DiMartini on the wrench. Don't be a dick in the chat, and you won't get wrenched. Jim Gerard is here. Chris Milk is here, and Colossal Bigfoot, Mad Cow Mark, and everybody else. Weevil Girl as well. Thank you all for joining me, and we're gonna have a good show today. We're gonna have some fun. I don't know what the. Much for joining me. Weevil Girls here. Thank you, Vinny. That's me twice. There's the statistics are kicking in now. So again, we'll talk about those stories. My name is Marcus Conti. I have a website, and I've been doing this for a while. I guess since 2016ish, 17ish. I don't know. Lots and lots of videos, thousands of videos floating around the globe, and every day we broadcast live at 9 a.m. Right now we're on YouTube. If that should change, we'll head on back to DLive. And you can watch the rerun wherever we are on Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, Facebook, Twitter, Getter, Truth Social, and wherever else this fine program is broadcasted. So, and all the way down on the bottom, if you're feeling generous today, if you got a couple extra bucks to throw around, I know people are strapped for cash now that the stimulus has stopped. But if you do have a couple extra bucks, throw it in the tip jar and Patreon. If you don't have a couple extra bucks, just join us every morning at 9 a.m. and break out your bullhorn and tell everybody that we're here, please. Because I don't think a lot of people know that we're really here. We're kind of, in the age of censorship. And we're going to talk about censorship, too. A Twitter that's now being bought out by or possibly they're talking about it again. Elon Musk is going to take over Twitter. I don't believe it until I see it. But Elon Musk is now flexing. We'll buy it for $44 billion. And the people in the mainstream media are panicking over the fact that free speech might be brought back to life at Twitter. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the times we live in? The media that was designed to expose tyranny and corruption and governmental malfeasance and misinformation is now on the side of censorship, saying, oh my God, we're not going to be able to shut people down anymore on Twitter. What's going to happen to us? Oh my God, the whole world is going to cave in because people are allowed to speak their minds. We can't have this. Those are the times we live in right now. Overt, in your face, acceptable, promoted censorship. No doubt about it. So let's start here. Oh, look, Britney Spears. Oh, my God. Britney. Oh, my God. If you have kids in the room, close your eyes. Nobody wants to see Britney Spears posed completely nude. All right. We could show this because we've placed hearts on her vagina and the tips of her nipples. So your imagination stops there because you can only imagine what's underneath this heart right here, right? We all want to see what's under there. So Britney Spears is forcing the world to look at her body, her 40-year-old body. Now, she was a hottie. She is a hottie, right, I guess. And people want to look at her body, and she wants you to look at her body too. Why? I don't know. This is her thing. The songstress 40 showed off her sun-kissed physique as she posed in nothing but a red, wide brim hat while lounging in the sand. Hey, you know, whatever. Is this harmful? Is what Britney Spears doing harmful to humanity? No, man. It's good. It's like, hey, man, I'm human. I'm naked, and I want you to see my human nakedness. I can't sing anymore. I can't sing about being a teenager anymore because now I'm 40 years old and naked on the beach. Let's see if there's any more photos. Oh, there she is. She's hot. She's hot. She's orgasmic. She wants you to look at her body, right? Here she is eating. Right? There she is. There's Britney. Whoa, she's sexy. She is hot. She's hot. Britney Spears, right? Listen, man, we live in a time where you do whatever you have to do for publicity, right? You can say anything. Do whatever you want, right? It doesn't matter. Truth, morality, love. It doesn't mean anything anymore. All that matters is that you take off your clothes, right? And you force the world to see what's going on underneath. Right? That's the most important thing. So good job, Britney Spears. I want to break down this. Good job, Britney Spears, for making us look, right? Because we looked. I want to break down the swing of a world-class swinger. Watch this. Watch this. I slowed down the video of Aaron Judge hitting 62 home runs. Watch this motherfucker hit the ball, right? Watch this. Watch this. Bang! Right? Now, I want you to focus with me. Let's see if I can pull this off. Let's see if I can pull this shit off, man. I want you to look at Aaron Judd's eyes. I want you to look at his eyes, right? What is this possible for a regular human being? I can't do this. I'm suffering right here. Is it possible that a real human being can do this, can hit the ball like this? I don't know. But let's watch anyway. Let's watch. It's not working out. It's not working out, man. Oh, yeah. So watch the pitch. I want you to look at his eyeballs. Watch his eyeballs. Just bear with me. It'll make sense in a second. I want you to look. See, right now, where is his eyes? You see his eyeballs right on the ball, right? He never, this is a 98 fucking mile an hour fastball. He never takes his eye off the ball. And right there on contact, He's looking directly. He can't guarantee where the ball is going to be, but he's in the general. His vision is so good that he's in the general direction of connecting with the ball, and there it goes. Now his eyes are still pointing where the ball was. Right? And watch his eyes switch. Now his eyes, with complete confidence, looks to see where the ball went. Watch it again. It doesn't. It's kind of a obscure thing that I'm pointing out, but it makes you wonder, what does it take to hit a ball like this? What does it take to be a rock star like Aaron Judge, to be so skilled, right? Right. No steroids either, right? So, but that doesn't matter. Watch his eyes. Watch. Bang! And there his eyes turn. So what's the moral of the story? I think Aaron Judge, now at 62, the moral of the story is keep your eye on the goddamn ball, right? So anyway, man, I kind of fucked that story up. Here he is again. Watch. Kaboom! Wow! Smack! Right. Aaron Judge, the great home run hitter. Great home run hitter. Let's switch let's switch. A switcheroo. So be afraid. Be actually afraid. Reporters panic at the thought of Twitter restoring free speech protections. Now that's the headline. That's a little bit of a little bit of a speculation, but by that particular writer. Those words from Politico magazine editor. Be afraid. Be actually afraid. Oh, that's actually what he said. Politico, right? Mainstream media captured a hyperventilation in the media week. No, it is not Vladimir Putin's threat of unleashing nuclear war or national debt that has reached 31 trillion. It's Elon Musk may go forward with the purchase of Twitter. Now, as I said earlier, I don't believe it until I see it. Twitter shares have spiked, but why? Why are you afraid of Elon Musk, the great entrepreneur, taking over Twitter? Because he's going to eliminate his allegiance to the radical left and then let speech actually be speech. Free speech, where people could come and speak, like I'm trying to do right now before getting cut off. I censor myself a little bit. I know that there's two subjects on YouTube that, you know, that's on them, that they refuse to allow people to talk about. That's fine. Right? We're gonna leave that. We'll leave that in the dust, right? We'll leave your vaccine confusion in the dust. We'll leave your, election fraud, confusion in the dust. You can have that. We'll talk about everything else. We'll talk about what's actually happening right here and right now. Free speech protections might be restored on the platform. The pearl clutching of various media and academic figures show how ingrained the censorship culture has become in the United States. Are we a censorship culture? Are we a culture that says, speak up, and then we look at who speaks and silence the voices we don't like and enhance the voices that we do like? Isn't that exactly what we're doing? Isn't that what mainstream media is doing? Elevating, who are these people? Elevating censorship. I think we are. So look at this. NBC News reporter Ben Collins quickly raises the most immediate concern that the sudden ability to speak freely on Twitter could impact the midterm elections. Wow. Look at this. If it gets done early, based on the people he's aligned with, yes, it could actually affect the midterms. So NBC is worried not about free speech and the First Amendment of the United States of America upholding people's rights to free speech. They're worried that the censorship that's in place is going to be challenged by Elon Musk and disintegrated because people are going to speak freely and start to get some resemblance of truth in media if Elon Musk can do this. But NBC's not having it. They want you to be quiet and shut the fuck up and consume. Right? Consume what we tell you to consume. Be afraid. Talk about nuclear war. That's why they love this. Talk about nuclear war. Talk about Putin. He's going to blow everybody up. Fear. Talk about it. Right? They're creating the scenario for it to happen, so you gotta point to it. And if it should happen, who's to blame? The people who started the hysteria. But anyway, I'm 3 steps out. Consider that for a second. The loss of control over political speech could mean a loss of control over the midterm elections. Elections of the people, by the people, for the people. Are our elections fair and integral in this country? About as fair as an integral and integral as they could be under the circumstances. The bottom line is that everybody involved in elections is lying, cheating, stealing, and manipulating. And we call that outmaneuvering. We don't call it sham like the Americans are calling the Russians Russian election in Ukraine. It's a sham. It's a ripoff. We call it the Republicans got outmaneuvered, and they got gerrymandered, or they got those 200,000 votes that got purged. That was an accident. That was a misunderstanding. And moments later, they admit that they did it illegally, and it doesn't matter. None of that matters. So NPR says the broader implications for the rest of us of a Musk takeover of Twitter. Right? BBC says guardrails will be dropped, misinformation and conspiracy theories will thrive. No functional alternative available. This is it. A complete destruction of the global public square. Because Elon Musk is restoring free speech? A complete destruction of the global public square? How is there a destruction of the global public square? Because you can't control it with your propaganda? Right? Go back where you came from. Go back on TV. Why you were on TV and nobody, you had absolute power on TV. Nobody could come on TV and challenge you. Now there's this thing called the internet, and you want to come on the internet and tell everybody, get the fuck out of here. Listen to us. Listen to us. We're BBC. We're Politico. We're fucking, you know what I mean? We're NPR. Right? Get out of our way, man. Our speech or no speech. Right? These people are violently against free speech. So the idea here is free speech protections will lead to the destruction of global public square, says BBC, by losing control of who can speak or what people can say. So they make the prediction that the global public square is doomed if Elon Musk allows Twitter and its people to speak openly, right? Of course. Right? It makes perfect sense. Or does it? Politico seem to move from the desperate to the outright delusional. Let's listen to what Politico USA says. Quote, before 2020, Facebook deplatformed progressives. Then it came for mainstream media and elevated only radicalized conservatives. That's not true. That's not true at all. They never. They radicalized. They elevated radicalized conservatives. Whatever. But we know Elon Musk plans to do the same with Twitter. We know how damaging it will be. Tech giants pose ongoing threat to Western democracy. This is ridiculous. This is silly season, right? What they're fearful of is the pecking orders will change, right? Which means that instead of listening to the Washington Post, the CIA-controlled Washington Post, New York Times, and Wall Street Journal, who don't do journalism anymore, who are a soapbox for the military-industrial complex, right? They're saying that they're not going to be able to do that anymore because over there on Twitter, you got regular people talking. And you know what, man? We just can't have that. We can't have regular people discussing, and because that's all conspiracy theory, as they say, and very, very destructive to the global public square. Right? You follow what I'm saying? There's a flag over here. It's the American flag. And the founding fathers, if you're radicalized on the left and you don't understand the foundation of America based on freedom of speech, the right to speak one's mind, the right to bear arms to protect yourself. If you don't understand all that thing and that stuff, and you think it's somehow white supremacy or fucking colonial racism, whatever is in your sick mind, think about it. I guess think about it from another, the idea of self, that you're being silenced. Right? Some people are being silenced. Your voice is being echoed down the chamber of censorship, right? I'm out there, man. I'm way out there. I gotta take some water, man. How's everybody doing, man? Sometimes you get winded, man. It's a Thursday. You know what it is? I think it's sometimes you catch yourself like drifting, and you gotta take a step back, right? I think you know what I think? I think the planet. I have this theory that that we are collectively reacting to the planet, the changing of the atmosphere all the time. Right? Everything is changing all the time. So we look for the past. We look to the past to try to understand what happened. And then from the past, we look to the future and say, well, the past equals the future, doesn't it? Sometimes it does. But the future is incredibly unpredictable because everything in the moment is changing. Right? So there's no real reason to get worked up about anything. Right? Stay in the moment. The only thing that's actually real is what's actually happening right now. Right? For example, you're sitting in front of a video watching a guy talk about what's actually happening right now. For you, it's actually happening right now. Right? For me, the guy who's making the video while you're coming back to the present moment is looking out his window, looking at the sunshine, and it's now 47 degrees in northeast Pennsylvania, heading to 70 sunny degrees. And I want to go outside and be part of that, right? I want to turn the heater off and go breathe the fresh air, But anyway, man, I don't know what I'm talking about today, man. Put the question mark up. What exactly am I talking about? I don't know. So there you go. Free speech is down the toilet. Look at this. Poland is talking about, it talks with U.S. about hosting nuclear weapons. Now, I said in my monologue earlier that the United States is in the process of turning Poland into the next Cuban Missile Crisis, except this time the dirty Americans are on the side of pointing the guns at the dirty Russians. It's the opposite. But the photo, this is what's actually happening right fucking now. At a moment, some U.S. officials and pundits are cavalier about talking World War III. Polish officials have announced that talks with the Biden administration are underway about the possibility of hosting U.S. nuclear weapons. Right. You see the point? America is the aggressor. We got to get those nukes close, man, because you don't know what Vlad is going to do. We got to get right. You're cornering the guy, man. You're cornering him. You're going into it. How many nuclear weapons does Russia have stockpiled on our border? Not many that we know about. Maybe a submarine or two floating around that we can't detect. But for the most part, why do we need to put a nuclear weapon right under Putin's fucking nose? Why do we need to do that under Russia's nose? Why do we want to blow up the Russian people faster than they can blow us up? Because if we blow them up, it's all automated, man. It's all automated. Defense, the shields go up, reactionary missiles fire. It is World War III. I'm showing you how the escalation occurs. If this is true, if Poland is willing to stockpile nuclear weapons on behalf of the Americans, we got a fucking problem. We got the problem is escalating out of fucking control. So that's real. And I always say, look to the stock market, look to the markets, the free markets, for explanation of what the fuck is going on in politics. Here you go. This is sponsored content. I didn't pay for it, but it's sponsored. Rising star Trillion Energy ready to supply much-needed European gas. Oh, wait a second. So Russia's getting squeezed because they can't sell their gas to Europe because America said so, and America's blowing up the pipe that carries the gas. And what do you know? Star Trillion Energy. Trillion Energy. Have you ever heard of? Trillion. It trades in over the counter in New York on the NASDAQ, OTC. It looks like it trades in Frankfurt. It's a company in the right place at the right time. Oh yeah, we got a war, and we got the president, the leader of one side, Putin, saying that they can't burn their money and stay warm. They need resources, right? And we cut off their resources, at least some of it, future resources in the form of the two pipelines that we just blew up. Right? And then we force the money into the hands of, in this case, the Germans. Right? No problem. No problem. You see, don't worry about it, Germany. You don't have to buy gas from Russia. Don't worry about that pipeline that we blew up. Buy it from us. See, now the money flow is into the European community in dollars, and the globalists benefit from that. If the commodities are being bought from Russia, the globalists are not getting paid. So here is your evidence. Here's your evidence. Trillion Energy ready to supply much-needed European gas. All right? With energy prices going parabolic, multiple sources of gas supplies being cut off from the Ukraine war, as the Ukraine war drags on, with no end in sight, Europe is facing a long, cold winter and decades of high energy pricing. The Nord Stream 1 and 2 pipelines, which were previously critical to European gas supply, were destroyed last week by sabotage. Just say it, man. The Americans blew it up to force it into. So the Groningen field, I'm connecting the dots for you. The Groningen field, the most prolific gas field in Europe, owned by Exxon and Shell, is cutting production by 50%. Gas supplies to Italy, Moldova have been targeted by Russia for shutdown this week, and the largest pipeline supply to gas to Europe coming through Ukraine is now also toast. So there's this place, this gas field in the middle of Europe, and who fucking owns it? Exxon and Shell. Two American traded companies. What more motive do you need to blow up the other guy's fucking gas line? Exxon and Shell are on the ground in Central Europe in the most prolific gas field they have. Exxon and Shell. Now, this business of cutting production by 50%, I don't know what that means. but you can see the ramification. Right? It's over. The war is being fought over control of commodities, control of stuff. Right? Now, people want to bash Trump, but Trump had the right idea about this. Trump came to the table with the big man, Putin. Oh, Russians are elbows flying. They push their way in. They're very assertive. And Trump understood that. He said, "Yeah, okay, push your way in. We'll allow you. We'll help you. Get the pipelines going and sell your commodities to Europe. No problem." Right? Trump welcomed the idea of Russia not throwing bombs at people. Right? They may not have invaded Ukraine if Trump was still there, because they wouldn't have had any reason to. Right? Remember who vilified Ukraine first? It was the Democrats who did it. Right? They said that Trump was in bed with Ukraine. Right? The senile 90, 80-year-old president of the United States was fearful that Ukraine was going to expose secrets about him and his son and his quid pro quo shenanigans. Right? So in that, America weakens Ukraine. So what does the big man do come in? What does the big man do who comes in? Putin. What does he do? He says he sees the weakness in Ukraine and says, fuck it, we'll just take it back. Right? That would not have happened under Trump because the circumstances that led to it would not have happened either. Right? What's the moral of the story? You got to get rid of Biden is not a leader. He's not capable and or cognitive of these types of events. He's a paid troll. Right? He wouldn't have gotten in if he wasn't grabbing the money. Right? So anyway, man. So what else are we talking about? Yeah. So there you go, man. Evidence. Let's look at the space launch. So this is pretty exciting. I look at it as the ramifications.
The International Space Station tomorrow.
What is the military ramifications of this sort of, blasting off? Right? Are the Russians scared? Well, this one of these guys is a Russian. One of the pilots in the fucking craft, one of 5, is Russian. The other one is, they made this big, shit about that it's a woman of Native American descent. Who fucking cares? They're all astronauts. They're all getting in the plane together. Right? And where are they going? They're going to the Space Center. Bye. Oh, there's 4 of them. There's 4 of them. I guess there's the woman. She's the commander. I'll say that this guy's the Japanese because he looks Japanese. And then 2 other ones are, I guess, American. I don't know.
They have a new wireless technology that is in the spacesuits. It makes measurements in real time, and it can go to the ground. So, the best way to handle a problem is to foresee the problem and deal with it ahead of time.
We got liftoff.
And the other thing that's really exciting is, we saw the movie The Martian.
All right, this guy's talking too much. I got the wrong clip. Let's watch. So there it is, SpaceX.
10, 9, 8,
7,
6,
6,
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Engines full power. And liftoff.
Now, I got to tell you, while they were announcing this this whole thing, CBS, they never once mentioned that Americans on the spacecraft and had Russians a Russian guy sitting next to him. What are they talking about? Hey, man, your fucking country, your leader sucks, man. He's at war with the other leader. Is that what they're talking about? Or no, they're talking about, let's go to space, man. All right? Let's go to space and see what it smells like. We're doing this right now, right? We're up there, right? And I know there's people that believe that this could be CGI. It didn't really happen. We've never gotten off the ground. The satellites are fake. The moon landing is fake. The Van Halen radiation belts are impenetrable, which they're not. You could survive 4 hours at that radiation, no problem. Many people have done it before. And what else? What else? Oh, the flag wasn't shaking. The flag on the moon wasn't shaking, therefore it's fake. But this is so. I mean, I don't know what to say to people that this is a big flex. When you fire a giant missile off the coast of Florida, pointing at the space station, it is a flex of sorts. It's a strongman flex. See what we're doing? And in a few weeks, we're gonna fire off Artemis to circulate around the moon in deep space. No people on it yet, but the capsule is there for people to be on it if they want to. Right? I don't know if you could sit in a chair for 45 days. That's pretty grueling. Can you survive in the little capsule for 45 days with somebody else without killing each other? I don't know, but there we go to space again. We've done it many, many times. And now there it is. There's the images of the round fucking Earth. The round Earth. We're around the Earth. It's flat, man. You see the line? The shit is flat. All right. So anyway, we're making it to space. That's all I got today. How's the market's doing? Ding. We'll talk about that. It's 9:50. Oh shit! I'm late to the party, and it looks like the the Nasdaq is green right now. Nasdaq is up. Let me just get a little click here. Get a little click. Give me a click. Yeah. It looks like the S&P 500 is flat. Dow is down a little bit. Nasdaq is up a little bit. Big board. Apple up 50 cents. Amazon down 50 cents. Google up 70 cents. Facebook flat, down 9 cents. Microsoft 16 cents. So this is what's called a flat open. Holding. We're always happy when the market is holding, right? Because we do want the markets to go up. We don't want a where's my machine? This is what singular broadcasting looks like, by the way, in the world. This is when one guy does everything. Right? I'm getting the I'm trying to get the band in place for the exit music, right? So we'll take it. Russell is green. Nasdaq is green. The Dow's down a little bit. S&P is up a little bit. Markets are holding. They don't seem to. They're not really worried so much about. They're not so worried about the war and all the other stuff that we talked about. So thank you everybody for joining me. I appreciate that.